The Amber Alert, you've heard it. It has helped find hundreds of children over the years. But after 25 years, the case and the child that the alert is named for remains unsolved.
Welcome to Pop Crime TV's The Outlier podcast. Today, we are revisiting the heart-wrenching case of Amber Hagerman, a 9-year-old girl whose tragic killing not only shocked the nation, but also led to the creation of a life-saving system that we all know today, the Amber Alert. And today is January 13th, which is Amber Alert Awareness Day. January 13th is when 9-year-old Amber Hagerman first disappeared. And for 28 years, her killer has remained at large, but her story continues to inspire change and save the lives of so many children. Let's take a closer look of what happened on that fateful day, the years since, and the incredible legacy that Amber has left behind. Amber Renee Hagerman was a bright, happy 9-year-old with gorgeous blue eyes and brunette hair. She loved creative writing, Barbies, and riding her pink bicycle. On January 13th, 1996, Amber and her 5-year-old brother Ricky were riding their bikes near their grandparents' home in Arlington, Texas. They had been told, like most kids are told, stay close, but also like many kids, they ventured a little further to an abandoned Winn-Dixie parking lot nearby. And if you're from the Northeast, a Winn-Dixie is a grocery store. So Ricky decided to head home, leaving Amber to ride alone. It was then that the most terrifying tragedy struck. A man in a black pickup truck grabbed Amber, kicking and screaming, and threw her into his truck, leaving the bicycle behind. A neighbor, Jim Keevil, who lived across the street from the parking lot but has since died, witnessed the abduction of Amber through a chain link fence. He immediately called the police. He described the suspect as a white or Hispanic male in his 20s or 30s, medium build, under 6 feet tall, with brown or black hair. He also described the truck as a black 1980s or 1990s full-size fleet-side pickup with no chrome, no striping, and no visible damage. Police later recovered Amber's pink bicycle from the parking lot. Now there's a laundromat, or there was a laundromat next to the Winn-Dixie, and police believe that others may have witnessed the abduction, but they were too afraid to come forward, perhaps fearing deportation because they weren't documented. And police said, look, we don't care, we just want information. Amber's abduction set off a frantic search by law enforcement and the local community. More than 50 federal agents and area police officers joined in the search for Amber. Police believed that the abductor's behavior had likely escalated because of perhaps a recent traumatic or upsetting event, such as divorce or a layoff. I'm not really sure how they came to that conclusion. Maybe they're just doing some general profiling here, but I thought that was interesting to include. Now, tragically, 4 days later, 4 days after Amber disappeared, a dog walker discovered her nude body in a creek near the Arlington Forest Hills apartments, which are just a few miles from the Hagerman's home. Police believed that she had washed up there due to recent thunderstorms. They also believed, based on the autopsy reports, that Amber was kept alive for at least 2 days following her abduction. Now, to them, that meant that maybe, possibly, someone may have seen something or heard something during that time. When Amber's body was found, police noted that her throat had also been cut. While an investigative task force was quickly formed after Amber's body was discovered, it was sadly disbanded 3 years later in 1999, and the case went cold. They just had nothing. They had no additional credible leads after Jim Keevil, and also they had no tangible evidence. Now, that's not to say there weren't any leads, because there were. Arlington Police sifted through more than 8,000 leads. Again, they just weren't credible, especially without having physical evidence such as a weapon or DNA. No official suspects have ever been discovered, and the case has proven to be very difficult to pursue. And unlike a lot of kidnapping or murder cases, there were very few credible theories circulating as to who possibly could have done this. Balloons and ribbons were hanging from homes and cars in Amber's favorite color, pink, in remembrance of Amber and for the community in Arlington to show their support for the Hagermans. Amber's mother, Donna Williams, has lived every day in search of answers. A month after Amber's death, Donna visited her daughter's elementary school for the dedication of a playground in Amber's honor. The visit was captured in the very moving WFAA TV documentary, After Amber. When Donna entered her daughter's third grade classroom, her eyes were drawn to Amber's empty desk and the, quote, Amber Museum that her classmates had created for her. It was decorated with pink hearts and ribbons and a framed class photo of Amber. The kids, who really seemed to sense Donna's pain, even at only 8 years old, they tried to comfort her. They raised their hands and they shared sweet memories of Amber, saying things like, "I always liked to play with her. She was nice and she's really pretty." But one little boy asked Donna a haunting question that she'll never forget. He asked, "What time did she leave on her bike?" Donna, in a gentle voice, explained to him, "At 3:10 on Saturday afternoon." Amber was abducted at 3:18 p.m. It took just 8 minutes. Donna stroked the hair of a little girl in the front row and softly reminded the kids to stay close to home. Amber's abduction and murder horrified the nation, but one woman, Diane Simone, turned her grief into action. She watched the news about Amber's case, and she was struck by the lack of a coordinated way to alert the community about missing children. She called a Dallas-Fort Worth radio station and suggested some kind of alert system, similar to weather or civil defense alerts, specifically for missing and abducted children. Her idea eventually became the Amber Alert System, short for America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response, but also named after Amber Hagerman. The Amber Alert System is now administered by the Justice Department and has led to over 1,000 confirmed recoveries of abducted children. The Amber Alert System was officially launched in 2002 when Texas Governor Rick Perry created the state's network. It was codified into law in 2003, and just last year it celebrated a milestone with its 1,000th success story, the recovery of 4 children in imminent danger in Wyoming. So even as Amber's legacy saves lives, the search for her killer continues. Over the years, the case has generated more than 7,000 leads, all investigated by police, and today, detectives are still committed to solving her case. They've even submitted a small DNA sample collected from the crime scene for advanced testing, hoping that new forensic technology might reveal the identity of Amber's killer once and for all. Lead detective Grant Gilden recently reassured the public, saying, "This is still an open, ongoing murder investigation. We want to solve it. We want to get answers for the family." They asked for the public's help again in 2021 at the 25th anniversary of Amber's disappearance, and they offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest, and they established a special tip line. For the first time, they released photos taken after her body was found in the creek, hoping someone will remember something and come forward. Again, police are hoping that advancements in the DNA technology will help them solve the case, and again, they will be submitting a small sample of DNA collected at the crime scene. Amber's mom, Donna Williams, she also spoke at this press conference at the 25th anniversary of Amber's disappearance, and fighting back tears, she pleaded with the public to help find her daughter's killer. You could tell it was still so raw and so real for her. Donna said, quote, "I miss her every day, and I want to know why her. She was just a little girl." Then, directly addressing the perpetrator, she added, "Please turn yourself in," end quote. So if you know anything about Amber's abduction or murder, please come forward. Call the Arlington Police tip line at 817-575-8823 or Crime Stoppers of the Tarrant County at 817-469-TIPS. You can remain anonymous, and police still believe that someone out there knows something. Even a small detail could be the key to solving this case. No information is too little. Amber Hagerman's story is a tragic reminder of how quickly life can change. But her legacy, a system that has saved so many lives, is proof that even in tragedy, there is hope. So to all the parents out there, stay vigilant, get AirTags for your kids, Life 360, share locations, and don't be afraid to be annoying. And just a bit more detail about the Amber Alert system, it's used in many countries, not just the USA. As of December 6th, 2024, over 1,200 children were successfully recovered through the Amber Alert system, and 195 children were rescued because of wireless emergency alerts. There are 81 Amber Alert plans throughout the United States. Amber Alerts are issued through law enforcement and usually entered in the FBI database when a child goes missing, and the case should generally meet these requirements. 1, law enforcement must confirm that an abduction has taken place. 2, the child must be at risk of serious injury or death. 3, there must be sufficient descriptive information of child, captor, or captor's vehicle to issue an alert. And 4, the child must be under 18 years of age. Thank you again for joining me on the Outlier podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we continue to seek justice and share stories that matter. To close this episode out, I'm going to play the trailer or the audio for the trailer of the Peacock original documentary, Amber, the Girl Behind the Alert, which is streaming on Peacock.
Everybody knows the Amber Alert.
This is an activation of the Amber Alert system.
I want the world to know who Amber was.
Saturday, they decided they want to ride their bicycles. That was my last time seeing her.
Arlington 911. I saw a black pickup and he grabbed a little girl and he took off toward town with her.
I immediately thought, oh my gosh, she was targeted.
Donna was going to make sure this would not happen to any other child.
I wouldn't be here without her.
If we just gotten the word out, she could have been found.
Amber's killer is out there somewhere.
Who murdered my little girl?
Everybody is a suspect. Thousands of leads.
The person who kidnapped and murdered Amber Hagerman is still alive.